Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey thee alone and live according to truth. Very good morning. Welcome to this spiritual congregation. Today, very auspicious day in the history of India. This is Republic Day. So I wish Happy Republic Day to you. Today, the topic of discussion is on psychic being. Very important topic. Those pursuing the spiritual life, those pursuing the sadhana, those moving in the track of integral yoga must be aware of this psychic being, because without this psychic being, without knowing this psychic being, without being aware of this psychic being, without awakening the psychic being, nothing more can be done in this sadhana. This it is the most important thing, and topic is the most important topic we are going to discuss today is on psychic being. To know what is the psychic being, as we know, soul in its development, soul is in its development becomes the psychic being, which we know we have already discussed earlier in the couple of subjects we have already discussed. So this soul is the spark of the absolute, spark of the divine. It has come down here into the manifestation to support its evolution in the material world. So this is the definition of soul. There is absolutely no difference, because soul and psychic being practically the same, except in some things it is developed. When it is developed, it is known as psychic being. The psychic being is the soul developing in the evolution. It is in Sanskrit it is known as the Purusha in the heart, or Chaitya Purusha. Already we have known and we have seen. To some extent we can see it is at its deputy in the form of the nature, the individual soul, Chaitya Purusha, the psychic being, the Chaitya Purusha, supporting mind, life and body. It supports mind, life and body. Standing behind the mental, the vital, the subtle, physical. It stands behind the mental, vital and subtle, physical, being in us, watching and profiting by their development and experience. So soul has come here for two things. One has to get the experience, and with this experience, this experience does not end in one life. It is a continuous process. So with the experience it has to get the progress and development. For that, the soul has come here. The soul, as we know, the true being, mental, vital or physical, has always the greater qualities of the plane. It is totally greater. Soul is greater than the man, we know, the Purusha or the psychic, as we have already discussed. We know to some extent about this thing. So about the psychic beings here in the course here, the psychic being is formed by the soul in the evolution. It supports the mind, life and body, formed by the process of evolution, supports the mind, life and body, grows by the experience and carries the nature from life to life. As already I have shown, it takes lives. In a single life, the experience will never end. So after this end of the life, what we call death, the soul has to come to a point in the intermediate stage, in the middle phase. There itself he has to choose what is required, and otherwise other experiences it throws it up. With this experience it needs for the new birth, and chooses the new birth. From the life and life it goes on. The psychic or Chaitya Purusha, at first it is held by mind and life and body. They almost mind, life, body, which are almost supported by the psychic being. Initially they block it out, they are veiling the psychic being. But as it grows, as the psychic being grows, it becomes capable of coming forward and dominating mind and life body. Initially it was dominated, it has been held by mind, mind and life and body. Later when it grows up, it dominates the mind and life and body. And ordinary man, it depends on the expression and not able to take them up and freely use them because they don't know what is mind, what is life and body. Then psychic is a totally different thing. Ordinary men, they are totally unaware of, they don't know why they are living. Ordinary Lord, ignorant like men know not why they live. They don't know what is the purpose, what is the objective, what is their destiny. They don't know. The life of the being is animal or human or divine, not divine. Their life, ordinary people's life, ordinary beings' life is only the animal life or at best the human life, nothing divine in it. When the psychic being can by sadhana become dominant and freely use the instruments, then there will be impulsion towards divine and become it complete and a transformation of the mind, life, body. It takes place. Not only merely liberation, but actually it the process of transformation will come. Sri Aurobindo quotes in this psychic being, in animals it is not conscious. In plants it is not conscious but is there. In plants it is not conscious. In animal begins to be conscious. In children it is very conscious. In children it is very conscious. Mother gives an example. When look carefully into the eyes of the children and you will see kind of light. Very small children, you will see a kind of light. That kind of light so dazzled, so prominent, you can be frank, so true that it can be seen that it is much more prominent. Wonder of the psychic, it is much more prominent. As the children learns to teach, learns, goes to school, learns, gets more intelligent, gets educated, then actually this psychic being, it got dims. That light from the, you see sort of things in their eyes, thoughts, desires, passions, wickedness, but the kind of little flame so pure is no longer there. He gets intellectual, he proceeds in the material life, he marches forward, but actually the light which was much more prominent in his childhood, in his eyes, that gets dim, it goes backside. You may also be sure that it is the mind that has got there, the psychic has gone behind. This is the problem with the progress, and here in this world, material world, but here where we are stressing almost with the mind, not with the psychic being. Now we will quote a few messages on this psychic being from Sri Aurobindo. The psychic knows, Sri Aurobindo speaks of, the psychic knows, while the mind, vital and physical, look only at the surface appearances and misinterpret them. Sri Aurobindo also quotes in the mother, if you follow your mind, it will not recognize the mother even when she is manifest before you, because the soul goes deep into the truth, but the mind looks at the appearances. It can't feel or follow what is the presence and what is the importance of this psychic being. But the soul knows. It is the very nature of the soul or psychic being. Soul or psychic being, already we have discussed, almost the same, only the process of development, it varies. Soul gains experience and progresses and develops. It is the very nature of the soul or psychic being is to turn towards the divine truth. As sunflower towards the sun. He has given one image, one imagery, one beautiful example. Sunflower, only its line, its action, its motivation, its destiny is sun. It moves according with the very motion of the sun. As sunflower turns towards the sun, so very nature of the psychic being or soul is to turn towards the divine truth. Only divine truth, nothing is there, only divine truth. It gets bent, it is less inclined, it moves. The very nature of soul or psychic being is to turn towards the divine, like sunflower is moving, turning towards the sun. Then the mind or vital can mistake other impulsions and suggestions for the divine will, but the psychic, once awakened, makes no mistake. There is only the term mistake, it is actually acceptable, it is only applicable to the mind and the vital. But so far the psychic is concerned, once awakened, until it is awakened, it is in the dim stage or it is in the veiled, you forget about that. When once it is awakened, it has no mistake. But in all the 100 times 360-degree angle, if you can move towards the consider the mind and vital case, it can mistake other impulsions and suggestions for the divine will. There is error, there is mistake, but once awakened, it will never, the psychic will never make any mistake. Opening. It is, if it is the true psychic love, Aurobindo speaks of many types of love we have discussed. It is Aurobindo once again speaking of the psychic love. If it is the psychic love, then faith goes with it. If that is psychic love, naturally it will be accompanied fully with the faith. Faith goes with it. And if there is an entire faith, with psychic love, faith goes. If the faith is entire, wholehearted, entire, then the psychic love becomes soon awake. Soon awake. So, for the psychic love to be entirely awake, there must be entire faith in the divine. It is the initial, first and foremost need. There is no conversion without awakening of the psychic being. Here, no conversion, no transformation, no progress towards perfection without the awakening of the psychic. Psychic has to awaken, psychic has to take the charge, psychic has to come forward, psychic has to stand uncovered, psychic has to lead the mind and life and body, psychic has to choose so that this conversion will take place. No conversion without awakening of the psychic being. Then Sri Aurobindo speaks of as psychic love. Another term Sri Aurobindo uses, that is actually known as psychic fire. The psychic fire within, lit into which all must be thrown with the divine name in it. We know that Setubandha, that the bridge was abridged between to go for the Lanka and to rescue Sita, fighting with Ravan. That Setubandha was there, we know. So when there was the construction of started, the stones were thrown into the sea, and it actually either drowned or it flew away. For that only there was a proposal to the angry Ramachandra that stone must be thrown and it must be touched by the banner Nala and Nila, and on that name will be there, Rama Nam will be there, and the name Rama must be written, so that it will never get drowned nor flow away. So with this assurance, Varuna Dev, the sea of God of sea, he left, and it was there. The stones were thrown into the sea with the Rama name Rama on it. Like this, Aurobindo speaks here, the psychic fire within must be lit. Psychic fire must be lit, into which all is thrown with the divine name in it, so that this transformation will take place. This as the gold gets brighter with each burning. Like this mental, vital, physical, one who is the name mother or the name divine must be written on it, and it will be thrown into the psychic fire for the transformation, for the illumination, for the glorification, and for the perfection. Sri Aurobindo another, either psychic love, then psychic fire. Sri Aurobindo takes another term, psychic sadness is purity offended. Psychic sadness, whenever we are staying in the psychic being, there is no sadness. So psychic sadness, if it is there, it is purity offended. The psychic fire, one more term, psychic fire, it is already used. Psychic fire fails in the straggling vital smoke. That vital smoke covers it, so it fails sometime, but later, as the hearth grows, as the flame comes forward, initially it is a flame, burning flame, one small flame. When it comes forward, then that vital strangling fire, it will go. The influence of the outer world is not favorable to the psychic contact and the psychic development. So we have to come out of the development, these things. To conclude, it is there. The earth must transform herself and equal heaven, or heaven descend into earth's mortal state. For such vast spiritual change to be, out of the mystic cavern in the human heart, the heavenly psyche must put up its veil and stand uncovered into the nature's king, and step into common nature's crowded rooms. Vande Mataram.